Hey, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more pub time with Cptn.Canuck. Today I casted the 82L once again. I was doing their Thursday league. I casted a couple games, and they were all really good. So I will be posting those up to my YouTube channel here as well. I have a feeling those will upload after this video because because that one is a lot longer and I have to cut it down a little. So regardless, yeah, look for that. Check me out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Go to my Twitch channel. It is down in the description below, Cptn.Canuck Dota, and you can check out some awesome semi-pro, not quite amateur games. It's pretty good. Anyways, I'm gonna warn you guys right off the bat. I spent a little bit too long tonight doing some other stuff. I had some other work to get done. I had to talk to my girlfriend, and just a bunch of other stuff came up. And so it is coming up on 2 a.m. right now. It is 1:50 p.m. and so, or 1:50 a.m. And I'm a little bit tired, so it's not going to affect me in any too terrible way, but I have a feeling I'm going to get a little loopy here, start forgetting hero names, and
10 seconds
remaining. We'll see. This is going to be a fun cast. I'll let you know this. So, anyways, here we are in the draft.
Remaining.
Team Pars the Glorious versus Kire Khar. Could not have
Reserve
picked two
time.
more obnoxious names to say in the heat of battle. Kire Khar and Pars the Glorious. Pars and Kire. Jeez, guys. What do you guys do to me every single time? I can't find a game with just easy teams like Razor versus Blade, or Team Dragon X versus Team Fairy Nymph. I don't know, man. I promised you it was going to get a little loopy, and it already started. Regardless. 2 bands in, we have gotten rid of the Alchemist and the Nature's Prophet and the Timbersaw. I mean, these are pretty standard across the board. Like I said, the Nature's Prophet is more of a stylistic ban. It's like, oh, I don't want to play up against that rat Dota split pushing type thing. And so you just get rid of that off the ban just because you don't want to play that style of Dota. And then the other 3 big hero bands, Alchemist, Timbersaw, and Bristleback. Those are all taken out every single time because they are just so strong and so easy to just get in your face with and just mess you up in your laning phase that people tend to get rid of them. So it's we'll quite probably see the they banned Lifestealer. All right, I was gonna say we might see a Bristleback ban here by Pars, but they banned the Lifestealer, and we could be looking to see Bristleback picked up in these first couple picks here. We will have to see in just a moment. This game was found on the 7th out of 9 pages of games today, so we're probably looking at relatively low ranking here. So keep that in mind as we go through all of these picks and bans. Not everything is going to make entire sense, but hopefully it is good Dota regardless.
5 seconds.
Actually, I'm kind of secretly hoping that it's bad Dota. I hope one team just stomps and wins in like 14 minutes so I can go to bed. But no, I'm kidding. I always want to see a good game. Regardless, ducking into the reserve time right now is Kire Khar, so looking for a little bit more of an idea of what they want to go with, and they pick up the Visage right off the bat. So I was saying this in the 82L game I casted today, was that Visage is just so potent if you have a player that can play him. A lot of people in the amateur leagues and as well in just the pub servers are not so well attuned to playing Visage, and a lot of them are just kind of intimidated to pick him up. It's kind of hard to think about, oh, I'm gonna, I gotta micro things now, I gotta move them around, and it's confusing, and I'm gonna screw it up. So it's really easy to get on that train of thought that you're gonna screw something up and just not even try him. And it is so beneficial to learn that hero and to get better at it, because he is just so darn strong in any team composition. It's just really good to grab him. So the response by Pars is going to be Darkseer and Magnus. So already we can see that they're looking to get a bit of an AoE wombo going on here. And I've said this before in past broadcasts that giving away your strategy like that too early on can be really detrimental. Kire Khar now has a pick and 2 bans to directly counter
10 seconds
whatever they
remaining.
plan to do here. And I mean, it's
5
very easy to
seconds
break this up
remaining.
if you'd like to. The biggest problem here is that, like I said,
Reserve time.
it's been revealed so quickly that that is what you want to do. You just pick 2 of the heroes that make AoE teams happen. And so
Radiant team
and so now the enemy team has that intel, and they know that picking up something like a Clockwork or a Beastmaster
Dire team ban.
or banning out that Naga Siren will really shut that down. And Pars actually, I think they kind of banned against themselves here. They get rid of Gyrocopter, which is always amazing in those AoE compositions. He's got a spell that makes his auto attack splash to pretty much everybody, and then his ultimate is just a giant AoE nuke and slow. I mean, there is nothing that works better in that AoE composition for carries, in my opinion. So I'm kind of curious as to why they banned that. That seems a little awkward, but I guess they're just kind of scared of it in general. Maybe worried about getting counter AoE'd, which I don't think is a worry at this point in time. But anyway, the OD ban is going to come out by Kire Khar, so that one is understandable as well. He dishes out a lot of AoE damage with Tanity's Eclipse. As well, he's just obnoxious and would shut down their Dragon Knight really hard. Now, going into that second phase here, the Treant was banned out, so they get rid of that. Again, not entirely sure on that one. Treant would not have fit too well in this team if I really think so, because Visage is generally played as a really aggressive support. You can put him in aggressive tri-lanes, he can always be in defensive, but the biggest role he plays is getting out those Grave Chills to slow down enemies and then nuking them down with Soul Assumption. And he's really tanky, so he can make it work, so Visage is always played aggressive. Well, I mean, not always, but he is generally played aggressive. And Treant is the exact opposite. He's very passive. It's hard to get kills with him early on because, I mean, Leech Seed is just as slow, and he doesn't really have anything else besides a high base damage. The Living Armor is more used for utility around the map, and they're really not going to need this at this point in the draft because Dragon Knight has really good sustain on his own, considering that he'll probably get a bottle, and having points into the Dragon's Blood, is that what it is? Yeah, Dragon Blood, will give him that extra bit of sustain and armor that he needs. So I really don't think that Treant ban was justified. Regardless, Pars goes for the Keeper of the Light, so they're going to have that Illuminate spam to really light up those team fights when they actually do get that AoE wombo off. And I'm kind of curious what they're going to go for with their last 2 picks here. They're looking for probably another support and a carry. Now, like I said, they've banned out probably the best AoE carry to go with this team. There's a couple others in the pool, like Juggernaut. Even Phantom Lancer can work well with that. Luna works out pretty well as well because of her glaives. But the second support is going to be the Sand King, and so more AoE just to kind of synergize with their lineup. So I do like that pickup. It works really well with Keeper of the Light too, because Burrow Strike into Illuminate will deal a ton of damage to whoever they catch out. Venomancer is the response by Kire Khar, and so they've got the they've got that marvelous Cobra Snake guy. And they picked Pugna, so they've got a really potent pushing strategy. It didn't really look like that at the beginning there. The Dragon Knight is just kind of an all-purpose pickup. He fights really well, he pushes really well, he does everything really well. And Sven is going to be the pickup. So they also have the Pugna, which gives them a lot of pushing power, and Nether Blast knocks down towers like nobody's business. As well, Venomancer is going to have wards, Visage is going to have birds, and Dragon Knight is going to have dragon form, and so towers are going to fly out like nobody's business. Now Sven, another great AoE support, and he actually works exceptionally well with the Magnus because of that in power. He gets a lot of extra cleave, he gets a lot of extra damage, and with the Coddle around, he's never going to be out of mana for Stormhammer, so he's always going to have the AoE stuns, and this is actually a really potent lane. So at the beginning, you know, I was kind of saying I really didn't like how Pars drafted this, and I still don't like the order in which they drafted it. I think if they really wanted to do that sort of thing, they could have picked a Viper, or a Keeper of the Light, and then another decent AoE support, which doesn't exactly give away their strategy. You know, it could even still be the Sand King, but you know, you can run a lot of other things in that role. You can get something like Warlock, you could get Witch Doctor, God forbid, you could get an Enigma for the jungle, you can do whatever, and it doesn't really show what you're trying to do. Regardless, they do get a pretty potent roster of heroes that will combo really well with each other, and I think they are going to have a really potent tri-lane too. Like I said, they've got a lot of damage coming out and a lot of sustain, meaning that I think if they would like to, they are free to jump right onto that off lane and go head-to-head against Kire Khar's tri-lane. The big question this game is going to be who's really going to crumble in the early game, because Kire Khar has very limited late game right now. They've got the Dragon Knight for damage, and that's about it. Everybody else starts falling off around the mid game. Now Pars has infinite teamfight utility. There's so much damage that comes out from Epicenter and the wall from Darkseer, as well as the RPs from Magnus, that it just makes it really hard to fight this team once you get past the 15 to 25 minute mark. Now, the goal and the game plan for the entire game already for Kire Khar was basically to just be aggressive and push down towers, and they are going to have every right to do that. Once they hit 6, they're going to start grouping up, and you'll see this Dragon Knight start to try to get aggressive in his lane to knock down those towers. So they're going to have that available to him. The biggest leveling skewer first. What? And bringing the courier with them. I'm not sure what's going on here, but okay, they do send the courier back, and like I was saying, it's really going to be up to the laning phase to make this game happen, because if both teams are even and no towers have been lost by 10 to 15 minutes, I think Pars is going to have a lot better chance in this game. Now, if Kire Khar runs away with it and they destroy the lanes, if they destroy their lanes, like I would actually expect them to do, considering what strong laners they picked, if they destroy their lanes and run away with it, get a tower or two early on, they can very easily just go on a gold rampage and just start knocking down tower after tower after tower. And unlucky, Pugna runs up to the jungle, trying to get up to the ward to ruin it. And actually, I don't think Pugna had wards, but he was running up to the rune regardless, and runs right into a smoked enemy team, and the Stormhammer flies out and smacks him right in the face. So first blood goes the way of Pars. Who managed to get that kill? The Magnus got that kill, so he's sitting on his bottle already, 10 seconds into the game, and what is this? Is this dual lanes? This is dual lanes? Sand King doesn't go in dual lanes. Sand King turns around and walks up towards the top lane. That is what a good Sand King does. Anyways, so looks like Pars is not going to go for the aggressive tri-lane. Like I said, I think they had every right to. They had very aggressive heroes that worked really well against the pretty squishy tri-lane that was Kire Khar, but instead they head back up towards the top to spend some safe farm and leave the Pugna alone on the bottom lane. I don't hate this decision, because it is a little bit safer. You don't have to constantly brawl. Clockwork's not going to be able to push Sven out of lane. Sven's going to be able to get free farm, and he carries a lot harder. So I think it's not a bad decision at all. The problem with it is that you're not challenging the early game of Kire Khar. So when they hit that level 6 to 8 minute mark, the fights are going to be a lot closer than they would if you ran away with the game in the early game. So a little bit of risk-reward assessment on their team. Looks like they just decided it wasn't worth it at this point in time to try to make that happen, and instead leave their Darkseer down there to just spam out those ion shells and pick up whatever golden experience you can. And none of these lanes are actually too interesting at this point. Magnus and DK aren't really two heroes that should be killing each other. I mean, both of them have a potential to get a kill if they get an interesting rune, or if Magnus gets a nice skewer into the tower, or there's a rotation with the Dragon Knight. But in all reality, at face value, this lane is going to be pretty dull. Both heroes are just kind of going to farm up. As well as this lane, I mean, everybody knows what it's like laning against the Darkseer. It is just dull. You just sit back and you just chew through your regen because you're eating ion shells charges all the time. So it's a little bit annoying. He does, Darkseer does fight off the Pugna a little bit here, but I don't think anything's going to happen in this lane. And then up here, the only time Clockwork's ever going to get caught is if Sand King manages to get in there with a Burrow Strike. And even then, I don't think he's going to get it. So we're looking at a pretty passive early game, which is exactly what Pars wants. They want to be able to get this Sven farmed and ready for the mid game. Because if Sven can outfight the Dragon Knight and the Pugna in the 10 to 20 minute mark, he is going to be golden. And that is pretty much the game in the bag for Pars. However, they are also going to require a lot of... Ooh, this is scary. However, like I said, Kire Khan is going to want to start grouping up and knocking down towers once they hit that mark. Sand King coming in here, looking for the Burrow Strike. He does manage to get it. Instantly goes into the Sandstorm. Stormhammer flies out. Illuminate comes out, and they trap him, or he traps him into Cogs, and then tries to walk away. Conley to throw out something here. He throws out an Illuminate. Oh, what? Did he stop cancel his Illuminate? I swear to God he was charging that. Oh man, okay, so Clockwork gets away with nearly a sliver of health, and that was really, really scary. But he does end up getting away with his life. Heroes mid just kind of chipping at each other a little bit, but nothing too exciting going on. And I wish I had some action to talk about, but yeah, Soul Ring comes up on the Darkseer, so he is now infinitely sustainable down in this bottom lane. Nothing to worry about whatsoever. Anyways, Magnus up here picks up a haste rune. Not going to immediately gank with it. He could, but I think he's going to return to mid, try to farm up enough creeps to hit his level 6, and then once he does, he might activate that haste rune and charge off to another lane where he can try to get an RP somewhere. That is kind of the better course of action. However, you lose the element of surprise because Dragon Knight now knows exactly what you has and will likely be telling his team here in a moment. On the bottom lane, it looks like they're going on the Darkseer, but he just surges away, does what he does, and I mean that's it. They don't have any security, or they don't have anything to secure this this Darkseer down here. The only the only two heroes that can deal with Clockwork with Darkseer are on the other half of the map. So they really don't have anything right now, and he's going to be, like I said, he's going to be infinitely safe. As soon as he sees a little bit of trouble, he can surge and run, and all of the slows that are down in this lane, each single hero having their own slow, they're not going to matter, because he just gets max move speed right off the bat. So we're going to run in and be a little bit annoying and throw out some spells on him. Soul Assumption has 2 charges right now, not going to be enough to finish him off. He pops off the salve just in case, well, just because he's low. And here comes a Magnus, level 6 with that haste rune, looking to make something happen. He's just got to charge right up into this lane. I think he's been spotted already. Yeah, he has, and Kire Khan just backs right the hell up, sits right underneath their tower, and they should be okay. Nothing's going to happen here. It's a shame, I was really hoping to see some big plays. I need some action right now, man. I need some action. There is none.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
People farming. 6 minutes, only 1 kill. And that came pre-0 minutes, so it doesn't really kill. Mugnus now finishes up his arcane boots, so he's got those. He's going to run back up the river and grab himself a regen rune. Dragon Knight opting to actually leave the lane to look for that, but doesn't manage to pick it up for himself. And now in his dragon form, so he can start putting a little bit of pressure on this tower if Magnus allows him. He's going to do a lot of damage to that Magnus, and there's not really much you can do to fight a Dragon Knight while he's in his ulti form. You kind of just have to wait it out, pull the creep wave away from the tower, and let it run out, or get some support from your teammates. Either way, Magnus chooses to go for the safer route, pulls the creep wave back, and Dragon Knight has to F off back to his own tower, where he will just sit and have his power treads brought to him. Rocket Flare flying down at bottom, not even going to hit the Darkseer right now. Oh, I should have had this up a long time ago. Last hits and denies, 37 to 11 for the Dragon Knight, 30 to 6 on the Pugna. 21 and 21 respectively on the Sven and the Magnus. I guess I shouldn't have said respectively because they were the exact same, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, we're looking at 14 and 14 on Clockwork and Darkseer. So pretty much every role looking identical in this game. We've got except for the top 3 farmers there. They're kind of skewed, but that is going to be the oh wow, yeah. So this is going to be the start of the early game. Oh jeez, man, I'm missing everything. Just gonna say this is gonna be the start of the early game that Kire Khar wants. They want to get their heroes leveled. They want to knock down a tower or 2, and then they're gonna get together as 5 and just keep knocking down towers. But oh man, it is going to be a big fight here. Magnus runs himself in, RPs everything, and oh my god, 2 heroes explode almost instantly. Pugna's going to drop the ward and try to run away. They're just going to kill that ward for some free gold, and Pugna is off on his own now. He is away from that, but jeez, that was terrifying. Top and lots of TP support coming in here. Sven's actually going to stick around regardless of how low he is, which could be a little bit dangerous. I don't think a Clockwork Rocket will pick him off right now, but I mean a good hook shot or something will finish him off. If one more rocket hits him, he's dead. I mean, he doesn't have any more health. He's got 40 seconds left before he can nom on a tango, and that is going to be just enough time for Clockwork to be able to shoot off another flare once he gets back to base here. If Clockwork wants to try for it, be a man, make the plays. He does fire a rocket off, and it's going... Oh, it is going up towards the jungle. Where is it going? Where is it going? It's coming! It's coming! Oh, and it flies just a little bit too forward. Dang, if that had hit, that would have been the play of the day. So damn close. And I mean, I know it was a decent amount away, like Sven was here and the rock player was here, but considering how hard it is to land those arrows and how long it is for them to fly, that was pretty damn good. Especially considering Sven juked through the jungle and went kind of a weird way and then hooked back up there. Big hook shot up in mid. Clockwork grabbing himself a Darkseer. 1 kill, the first of the game, going down towards KK, but I don't think that matters for him right now. The kill score is irrelevant to their strategy because they have so much pushing power now. Look at that, creep wave disappears, and they're moving in towards this tower here. The Magnus got himself a haste rune though, and he's got RP, runs in, throws out the RP, only gets 2 though. The Dragon Knight is still outside of it, doing out a lot of damage. Finishes up Magnus. Darkseer is still dead from before, and Sand King gonna run himself away. Coddle is pretty much dead. Yeah, he falls there. So 3-5 now the kill score. A little bit more going the way of KK, and they've got momentum towards this tier 2. So they're playing it really well, and they're executing their strategy, which is good to see. They need to hit hard and hit fast. Not opting to go in on this tower. They could be playing this a lot more aggressive if they wanted to, but they're going to play a little safer, head back off. They're going to pick themselves up an illusion rune on that Dragon Knight, and then just continue to farm up a little bit. They are in a gold lead, and I think... You know, I'm starting to think about it, because, you know, in the draft I was saying that Par's late game is a little better, but now that I think about it, I think there's pretty even amounts of late game. Dragon Knight will not carry as hard as a Sven, especially with that Magnus cleave on him. However, I think with the Pugna draining life, and the Clockwork just getting in the middle of everything and just messing it all up, I think they've actually got a decent late game team fight. So, I'm not going to write them out at that. If they want to farm, that is still acceptable because, oh wow, Epicenter gets cancelled by the hook shot. That was so good. And the 2-man cog goes down. 3 heroes dead, all because of that Clockwork. Stormhammer flies out, but it's not going to matter much. That Sven is going to drop in just a moment here. He does, and Coddle is the only one left, leaving just an Illuminate to fly out, and this tower is going to drop. So, like I was saying, I think KK's got a fine late game. I kind of over-sensationalized it a little bit just because of how much AoE that Par's had, but I think it's acceptable to say that the late games are pretty even at this point, and oh man, Clockwork making plays, man. knocking that Sand King out, getting out with his life. They're going to turn around, they're going to get that Sand King. Damn, that Clockwork play. That was really nice. I like that. So, like I said, over-sensationalize it a little bit. I think both teams are on pretty even footing when it comes to the late game. It's just going to be a matter of who plays out the mid-game well enough to gain some sort of advantage heading into it, because I think either team can run away with it if they have that advantage. The mech is up on Pugna, has been for a little bit here, I just hadn't mentioned it. The Venomets are still really poor, but he's almost got his Arcane Boost, and I think that's what he's going to pick up. Actually, he's running towards mid lane. Regardless, Visage now has a... he's got a headdress. I wonder if that's some miscommunication on the team, or if he is intentionally going to go for a pipe. I do suppose pipe would work pretty well. I think, is Epicenter physical or is it magical? It is magical. So if Epicenter is magical, then pretty much all of Darkseer, all of Coddle, and all of Magnus's damage will be negated by a pipe. So a pipe is totally acceptable. I think that's probably the idea here. In the top lane, Dragon Knight catches out the Magnus as he runs in with a haste rune. Magnus skewers away but completely misses. They're vacuuming in that Dragon Knight. They kind of just threw him all around there. Clockwork jumps in, gets 2 of the cogs. What a play there, and all that kind of AoE burst coming out by KK right here, and they managed to pick up those 2 quick kills. Looking to grab that Magnus now. He is really low, and he tries to RP but doesn't manage to get it off. Haste Rune just wearing off now on that Dragon Knight, and they're going to get this tier 1 tower for sure. 11-6 is your kill score. 13 minutes and 45 seconds into this game, and KK now looking to be picking themselves up pretty demandingly. Take a peek at the Golden XP graph. This is where it kind of started swinging in the way of Pars. They had a pretty damn good early game for themselves, got a couple kills to begin with, but you can see here right as KK started roaming and just kind of abusing their position on the map, getting together, and this is about the time where they were all 6 and they could really abuse it, and you can see it turns right around. I'm sure the Golden Graph will tell a similar story. Yeah, like a smaller dip. Oh geez, big team fight going out here. Great RP, gets 2, but he's gonna die really quickly. Nothing to follow it up. Stormhammer goes out, and the Epicenter. But Clockwork with these amazing cogs again gets 2, and I don't think I've seen Clockwork get this many of his hooks in my entire casting career. Holy crap! Gets himself another kill. Pops off a bottle charge to survive the last tower hit, and that is a full 5-man wipe. Oh
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kire Khar just taking away this game from Pars, just completely abusing their pushing power, getting right up in their faces and making sure they don't have the time to initiate. I think if Pars got a really good initiation on their own terms, they would be doing a lot better here. But every single time, Magnus has been forced to use like a skewer RP to kind of get a counter initiation going. And without that Blink Dagger, I mean, that's all he can do. He just didn't farm well enough early on to be able to get that Blink Dagger. And if he had that, he would be able to blink in, RP, and then skewer backwards, which separates up the team fight a lot nicer than it has been recently. Instead, he's just RPing in the middle of the fight, and it basically serves as a 3-second stun or so. So, they really need to make that initiation happen, and happen on their terms. They need to get a nice vac into RP, into Coddle Blast, into Epicenter, like, into Stormhammer, like, just they need to get that combo off. And if they don't, it's just going to result in getting picked apart like this. They leave 2 or 3 heroes outside of that RP, and it will start to work against them. This Dragon Knight here, he missed the RP last game, and he just shredded. He did so much damage, finished off a couple of heroes. Clockwork jumped in after and got a couple in his cogs, and that was the end of that.
Here.
Throwing off a cog to scout. Is he gonna go in on this? We've gotta watch. Clockwork is sitting over here on the left side. He's looking for a hook. Come on, throw it. You got a Trudging Coddle. That is like the easiest hook of your life. He's gonna wait. He wants to challenge. BKB now up on Dragon Knight. That is notable for the next fight. Come on, Clockwork. Keeping my camera here, looking like a bit of an idiot just so we can watch you. Come on. Come on. Not doing it, man. Got a haster and everything. Even if he screws up, he can just get out. There he goes. He throws it and he misses. Man, he had so many opportunities. That was kind of ridiculous. But back into nothing. Magnus skewers in, gets an RP on 3, but it's not going to be enough. He doesn't follow up. Dragon Knight turns around, finishes him off, and he drops. Dragon Knight continuing forward, gets a nice splash, finishes off the Sand King, and gets himself a double kill. Dragon Tail up onto that Dark Theory, he falls too, and GG is actually gone already. I think that was pretty I think if this is actually a GG, it's a little bit premature, I would say. We'll see if it actually ends the game here. I don't know if it will, but this Dragon Knight is falling out of control here. Has his BKB, 1700 gold in the bank, 5-1 and 13, which means he's been a part of all but one of the kills that his team has gotten this game. Sand King coming out here, looking to make something happen, but there are sentries. Are there? No, Visage doesn't have him anymore, so Sand King can just get right in there and just sandstorm, and he should be okay. Until the birds drop on his face.
Boom! There it goes!
Boom! There it goes. Coddle now almost at him back. He's about 300 gold off of that, so that'll be really nice for them once they get that up. Give him a little bit better team fight. Sven does not have power trids yet, but he is working towards his BKB, about 600 gold off of that. Oh man, Darkseer gets himself caught out here, but nothing too big. Clockwork misses another hook, so maybe not MVP. Walking up, turns on the battery assault, tries to get that Sven back in the cogs, but he does not manage to, and he's going to be forced to walk away from that. Birds flying in, they are going to drop to the tower, one of them is at least. Coddle flying out to clean up this creep wave, and still damage being done to the tower though. They've got a ward picking away at it, Pugnus getting his nether blast, and doing all the damage they need. So it looks like that GG was not real. So GG, and do not opt to click that nice button that lets you surrender if you do say GG, and instead choose to fight it out, which I think is the right choice. I mean, they are not in a position that they cannot come back from. 7,500 gold and 12,000 gold is, or 7,500 EXP, sorry, 1,200 gold. It's a pretty substantial ladder to climb, especially with this many towers down, but I think if played right, and if that wombo combo is gotten, they can take a team fight and start getting defensive gold, which will really help him in these fights. Once he has a BKB and you know, his power treads up so he can attack a little faster, he will function a lot better. Dragon Knight now got a Shadow Blade. Looks like he farmed that up raw, and it is flying out to him right now. So that is a nasty combo. Generally, I've fallen out of love with Shadow Blade. I used to really like it, but just the nerfs to it, where the duration is increased, made it so that it's so much harder to be evasive with it. Oh, Darkseer gets blown up right away, gets caught, and Coddle actually bumps Clockwork into the Magnus so that he can cog him in. Epicenter goes out, but doesn't actually finish anybody off. Clockwork's going to force staff himself out. Actually, he doesn't have force staff. Somebody else force staffed him out. Venno drops his ulti, but only one person grabs it, and that is the Sand King. Pugna grabs the tower with the Nether Blast, and 21-9 is the kill score. 20 minutes and 35 seconds into the game, and no outer towers remain for Mars. And it looks like Coddle might have disconnected there for a sec. Yeah, they called DC, and he was just kind of standing there taking a beating, so I don't think it's... Okay, there is going to be a pause, so they do want to stick around. Actually, that was a Dragon Knight that paused, so some manners going out, but the Magnus resumed, and I guess they're just going to let it go. Can't quite understand them right now, but I imagine they're just saying, don't bother, you guys want, just whatever, finish it. And, so they're still gonna fight. The Shadow Blade comes out before that stun lands, so he's gonna be safe in the stun, and he's just gonna back off. GG once again called by Magnus. I don't know if they're actually gonna press the button this time and let her go. They are only down to rags, like I said. It's not... Okay, alright. They do call it. So, like I said, that was a steep mountain to climb, but I don't think it was impossible. It was pretty difficult, but they do not want to deal with that stress Instead, they're just going to say GG go next and take off to find their next game here on the Valve servers. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been another pubcast by Cptn.Canuck between Pars the Glorious and Kire Khar. What an exciting game. Anyways, please definitely check out my Twitch channel. Give me a follow on there, and I will be broadcasting AD2L, the Amateur Dota 2 League, every Tuesday and Thursday. You can check out their website at amateur.Dota2league.com. They've got a lot of awesome teams, up-and-comers, and really strong players in general, and I've been really enjoying the cast so far, so come check out my live stream Tuesdays and Thursdays between 6 and 9 p.m. PST, that is 7 to 10 EST, and yeah, I hope to see you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Cheers.